Hembo, I don't know if this is something that has been researched. I should have asked you to do it before. We are 9 weeks into the season, and the Bills have a 4-game lead in their division. I know that division configurations have changed over the course of time. It's not an apples-to-apples look at it. But to have a 4-game lead, which for all intents and purposes amounts to a 4.5-game lead because they've beaten the Jets head up, and that game was at the Jets. So they have an even greater advantage in their division than just the standings would indicate. I can't imagine that has happened often in this sport or any sport. To be up 4 games after 9 have been played is a remarkable start to a season.
It sure is. I'm guessing that the Belichick-Brady Patriots did it once or twice because the division was so bad in many of those years. The Bills are plus 87 right now, and the rest of the division is minus 151. This was supposed to be the year that other teams were sort of competing for the top of the division. It's been everything but that.
Cam, you have numbers?
Yes. The 4 teams that clinched the division earliest in Week 11 were the 2007 Patriots, the 04 Eagles, the 97 49ers, and the 85 Bears.
It's Week 11, you said?
Yeah.
They could do it.
Well, that'd be like 2 weeks from now.
Well, there's one additional game now, right? So that makes it harder to clinch. Mm-hmm. There's one more game than there was for any of those 3 teams you just mentioned. So there's clinching and there's putting the division away. They may not mathematically clinch, but right now, if you wanted to bet at ESPN Bet on the Bills to win the AFC East, is that a bet you can even get?
I'll pull that up. I bet
is it minus $1 million?
It is minus 5,000.
5,000.
Right, so that means
so if you've got 5,000 handy, you're gonna make $100.
If you bet $5,000 to win $100.
Yeah.
And what you're basically betting on is that the entire Bills team is injured.
Right.
Like they would have to have like a bus crash.
That's what.
And like all their players break their legs on their way to the stadium because there's no other way in the world that they wind up winning. They don't wind up winning that division.
Well, yeah, if not, you get $100. So why not?
This was supposed to be their rebuild year.
Yeah.
Through 9 games, they scored 20 more points than they were at last season with 10 fewer turnovers. This is the year without Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis and that great secondary. This team just churns and churns along.
They're just a collection of people who know what they are doing. You know, the late, great Jerry Krause, and I use that second word advisedly, he was a great general manager and has been completely unfairly maligned for basically the entirety of time. He famously said, players don't win championships, organizations do. And when you are just as consistently good as the Bills are, there's proof of it. Is Josh Allen the most important part? Yeah, of course. But they had to do 2 things with him. One, they had to take him when a lot of people wouldn't have. Just ask Mel Kiper to go back to that draft. Half the teams in the league didn't want any part of Josh Allen. And then 2, they have to develop him. And they did that perfectly. That you can't, he is the perfect textbook illustration of how a quarterback should be developed in the modern game of football. And so as a result, you're going to be competitive going forward. But then to actually move all the other pieces around the chessboard in such a way that, to your point, in what is supposed to be their down year salary cap wise, they're able to make a move like going out and getting Amari Cooper and making themselves a legit Super Bowl team. That is an organization that knows what it's doing.